Good morning everybody, my name's Andrea I'm appearing on my own behalf. I just want to thank the inquiry for allowing me to voice my concerns. My concerns are regulation. Who specifically is going to be doing the regulating? Is this going to be government? Is it going to be self-regulated, or is there going to be a totally independent group that's actually going to go out and actually do the checks on these wells? Who's going to check for spills and how often are they going to be checked? Is this going to be random, or is this going to be, we will be here on this particular day? So if there is a problem, cover-ups. And I'm sorry, but my experience so far in life is that, if there's going to be something dodgy, somebody will do it. My reason why I brought this is because one of the examples is in New South Wales. One of the companies had created a number of spills, and the only reason why anyone found out was because a whistleblower actually from the company actually said something. That was the only reason why it was found out, and that does concern me. Okay, how are spills going to be handled? How are the storage going to be? Is it going to be in ponds? Ponds are lined with plastic. Plastic tears. Every single one has some form of leakage. The chemicals that we're talking about are lethal in large doses, even in small doses over a period of time. We also have things like our rainfall. In the last few weeks we've had a monsoon. On my block alone at Hunty-Doo we had over 900 mils of rain. That is a lot of water. How are we going to stop that water going into ponds? How are we going to stop it overflowing and spilling? Because once it's out there, it's gone. How are you ever going to be able to trace it and actually be able to fix it? Also, things like methane leakage. Why are people not allowed near these wells? People have testing equipment, private people, but they're not allowed near the wells. You're threatened with all sorts of dire, consequences if you go anywhere near it. Why is it fenced off? Why don't they want us there? What are we hiding? If it's all open and transparent, why do we need to hide this stuff? Even around Alice Springs. Alice Springs has been known to flood. You can get some very heavy rainfalls down around Alice Springs and Tennant Creek and places like that. The companies, a lot of these companies hide under offshore and they hide behind shelf companies. Who's going to pay for the damage? How are we actually going to get the money? Examples are places like Todd Mine, the Mount Todd Mine down near Katherine. It has ponds full of heavy metal. It's been abandoned. Basically, we're the ones. What they're doing is they're releasing some of the water into the waterways. Heavy metal builds up into the base. Fish feed off that. Eventually, the chain. Another one is MacArthur River Mine. These are all places that, have done environmental spills. And everyone's like, no, it's okay, don't have to worry about it. Okay, just limit the amount of fish you get. No, how about we just stop destroying things, because it only gets worse. Another one is things like the ads on TVs. It gives you the good points. It doesn't tell you the whole lot. There's a guy called Greg. He declines to give his surname. He says he's the owner of Tarlee Station. He states he's an environmentalist and he has no fear of fracking. He says he wouldn't put his family at risk and he would never harm the environment. He has no fear of contamination. What he fails to tell everybody is his property is up for sale. Why? If it's so great, why is his property up for sale? Why doesn't he tell anyone that his property is up for sale? All you have to do is Google it. Go onto Domain. Type in Tarlee Station. And to anyone who thinks that hydraulic fracturing is a good thing, at this present time I'm personally affected by aquifer contamination. I own 35 acres in Katherine. I purchased this land as a retirement block. My problem is the Tyndall aquifer is contaminated with PFAS. My land is now considered worthless. I have at my own expense purchased 3 25,000 litre rainwater tanks to collect rainwater so I can rent my property and as a duty of care to my tenant. I'm now told that PFAS is in the dust and any dust on my roof is now in my rainwater tanks. So I now have the cost of having to test my water, not just my bore, but now my rainwater tanks as well. Who pays for this? I'm paying for it. $280 every time I want to get my water tested. And I have to do this every 3 months to try and make sure that I've got some form of duty of care so I can actually rent my place out. Well, at present, I have no tenant. Nobody's interested in living in a contaminated environment. I do have the right to pay my mortgage, and I do have the right to pay my rates. It's supposed to be an open and transparent system from the government and Department of Health. The only way I can get information is through the Department of Health in New South Wales and Queensland. Those are the ones that are telling us, don't eat eggs, don't drink milk, don't eat the meat on your block, limit your drinking of the water, limit, eating your fruit and vegetables that you grow on your own block. I'm getting that from interstate, not from here. So the open and transparent thing, that's why I'm worried that cover-ups and stuff like that, because so far we're not being told the full truth. We have to go looking for the information ourselves. They said that, eating fish and shellfish was fine. Now they've backtracked on that and they've said, I'll just eat it limited. Now they're saying don't eat it at all. The whole of the Katherine area is just in no man's land. My land is worthless. Anyone want to buy 35 acres in Katherine? If they can't tell us the truth about PFAS, then why would they tell us the truth about, the chemicals in fracking and what's really going on? Do I trust our government? No, I don't. They promised an ICAC at the last election on the behaviour of the previous government. Now they tell us that they won't do it because it's not in the best interest of Territorians. Again, what are they hiding? What don't they want us to know? I think most people have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Knowing these things, how can we risk fracking? I fear for the future, and I fear what we're leaving our children and our children's children. I fear for the one thing we can't live without: water. But it's also the emotional and financial cost to the people that are directly affected. And it won't be the companies, it's the little people. It's the people like me, it's all the people in Katherine. The people are now sitting there going, well, what do we do? Our livelihood is gone. But we're being told that there's nothing going to be done because they can't prove things. Well, you read up on PFAS in Europe. It's linked to cancers, it's linked to birth defects, it's linked to so many different problems, yet nobody wants to actually do a proper study to prove it. But anyone who lives in and around an area where PFAS was produced or used all suffer higher rates of unusual cancers, clusters. And, this isn't a town where you can monitor. What are you going to do out in the areas where you can't monitor? Who's going to be out there checking? Who's going to be out there protecting the environment, protecting people, protecting our future? Because that's what it comes down to. For the handful of jobs, I don't think it's worth it. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. I just had a couple of questions, and I'm sorry, I'm not in any way arguing with you, but have you had an official evaluation on the land? Like, as someone...
I tried to sell it. It was on the market for 15 months.
No buyers? Okay.
I've had a lot of people tell me that, no, PFAS is okay. And I said, okay, if it's fine, you buy the block. Oh, no, I don't want it. And I had somebody who said, oh yeah, I'll give you 10 cents in the dollar. That's $30,000. I still have a mortgage. That's going to cover part of my mortgage.
Understand. And you also made reference to ads on the television. Most of the panel are not from here. Yeah. What ad were you referring to? I'm interested to know about that.
It's a guy,
this is recent ad?
Farm gear, and it's on TV.
It's on now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And he says, my name is Greg, but he doesn't say his surname. I own Tarlee Station, and we have a fracking well on there, and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm an environmentalist, and I'd never do anything to damage the environment. And I have no fear of fracking and I wouldn't put my family at risk. But he's got the property, he doesn't tell everyone he's got the property up for sale. Why has he got it up for sale? Is it because it's got fracking on it? Is it because he sees what the future is?
Is this ad, does it say at the end of the ad that it's sponsored by somebody?
Yeah, but unfortunately it flashes up so quickly that you can't actually
Okay.
read it. We've tried sitting there with a mobile phone and tried to video it, but we've never actually been quick enough to be able to get it.
It's Appia.
It's Appia, I'm told it's Appia.
Oh,
Okay, well, we will track that ad down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right. Thank you very much for taking the time today and coming and speaking with us. It's important. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.